Time to review the Roland Emmerich film from 1998 starring Ferris Bueller. I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, that's a terrible movie. Interesting how this Godzilla could hide inside of buildings while this Godzilla picks buildings out from between his toes. Godzilla. So if you're unfamiliar with the whole Godzilla series, it's a very complex and filled with deep and rich symbolism. Also giant monsters fighting and knocking over buildings. The best thing about this Godzilla movie is that it really does feel like a Godzilla movie. You know, unlike some other ones. The first part of this movie has such great build-up and it's filled with rich characters. Everyone knows Bryan Cranston is in this movie. He's in all the trailers doing his great angry speech voice. And he probably is the best actor and character in this entire movie. Unfortunately, he's not really the main character. Well, you know, besides Godzilla. Bryan Cranston plays a guy who worked at a nuclear power plant and he's uncovering some conspiracies that may or may not have to do with giant monsters. Come on, you know what this movie's about. And then there's his son, who's played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's like a soldier and he's just trying to get back home to his wife and son. And that's probably my biggest complaint here is that while I do like Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's just not given a lot to do here. He's just playing your stereotypical good soldier block of wood. And his story just isn't as interesting as anything else going on in this entire movie. Also, we go through a lot of military situations of them just being like, we will take down these monsters with nuclear weapons. Sure you will, military. It's worked all the other times. Ken Watanabe is in this. He plays sort of your stereotypical Japanese scientist who knows way more than he probably should. I really liked him though. He knows how to deliver exposition well. And he just has this great look on his face like he can't believe how crazy things are getting just moment by moment. Godzilla. Now I have heard some people complain that there's just not enough Godzilla in this movie, and I don't really agree. I thought this movie did such a great job of just building up tension to the point where Godzilla's presence just fills the entire movie. It reminded me of like the original Tim Burton's Batman. Like Batman's only in that movie for like 20 minutes. But even when Godzilla is not the main focus, it doesn't feel like you're not watching a Godzilla movie. That being said, there are teases to this epic battle that we know is coming at the end of the movie. You think something awesome is about to happen and oh, no it's not. You really think something awesome is about to happen? And no, not yet. And honestly, the second time they did it, I was getting a little bit frustrated. Like, come on movie. I know it's gonna happen. Stop toying with me. But it's all about build-up, and once the action really kicks in, it's awesome! The last act of this movie is probably everything I could have asked for in a modern-day Godzilla movie. But I know that getting there is probably what's gonna frustrate most people. So it's not perfect. This movie tries new things, and I like that. Some work, some don't really. I kinda wish the main characters had been handled a little better. But it's a fun movie. It's ripe with tension and epicness. And most importantly, Godzilla. The good things in this movie far outweigh the bad, so I'm gonna give it a B. Honestly though, if this movie had ended with Godzilla fighting a giant Bryan Cranston, probably be best movie of the year. I can dream.